Family, it's Feel Good Friday. Lunch and news with DotSale. Let's get into it. How's it going, y'all? How's your week been so far? Some of y'all spent it with me, some of y'all didn't. Some of y'all just pulling up at the... Some of y'all by pulling up. I think we're in week 4. I be losing count. Like a lot of times, like when I really start to lock in, I don't even be knowing what day of the week it is. Like if I didn't have to put the day of the week in the thumbnail to realize what day it is, because I update it, you know, as far as each day, I wouldn't even know that we was in Friday. Like it feels like a Monday or a Wednesday to me. The only difference is the weekend, and we might start doing the weekends too. We might not take a single day off. That's the type of momentum that we're starting to build up. We might have a Saturday night show. We might have when church is going on, we might air during church. We might pull up at like 11 in the morning on a Sunday. I don't know. Anything's possible. But before we get into everything, we got a lot on the docket. I want to actually get y'all fed real quick. So we're going to go ahead and get into lunch right now. See what we got for y'all. Let's see what we got. Feel Good Friday. Why don't we go with Chana Masala? Wow. I'm looking at the numbers over here at the home cooking show. It's a very big channel here. 3.16 million subscribers. Home cooking show has. So, I mean, you can go over there and subscribe. They probably wouldn't even notice if you did. We've covered creators with much less, a couple hundred subscribers and different things like that. But they are going to cook us lunch for the day, so we're going to give them the credit that they deserve. Home cooking show. Very successful cooking show they are. All right, let's see what we got.
Punjabi. Now, this is a little different from the not any. Everyone, welcome to Home Cooking with me, Hema Subramanian. Now, today we're going to make a very popular yet simple dish. We're going to make chana masala. It's not any chana masala. We're going to make Punjabi chole. Now, this is a little different from the traditional or the typical chana masala that we make. And I'm going to show you all the steps from scratch. So let's get started and check out the recipe. I've soaked 2 cups.
We like it when it's from scratch. We like our meals made. We don't like the processed foods. If we can avoid that, we always trying to go with like freshly made everything. That's how we like to roll over here, family.
Cups of chickpeas overnight. So next I'm going to pressure cook this.
She preparing this like it's Thanksgiving. She said we getting prepared over. She started the night before. We ain't got to wait that long though.
To the pressure cooker, add the soaked chickpeas. Add enough water so that the chickpeas are immersed.
Is that water filtered? Go spring water at least.
Unlike the typical chole masala, to get this nice rich and brown color, I'm adding a tea bag. To this, I'm also going to add a piece of cinnamon and a piece of bay leaf. Add a teaspoon of salt and a pinch of baking soda. Close the pressure cooker and cook for a couple of whistles till the chickpeas are cooked. Onions finely chopped.
We got onions.
Teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. Mix it in till they're nice and mushy. Starting with half teaspoon turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons red chili powder, 1 teaspoon coriander powder, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, 1 teaspoon coriander.
What is this? Coriander powder? I've never heard of that. We're learning.
Powder, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, 1.5 teaspoons of garam masala powder,
I don't know what that is.
2 teaspoons amchur powder.
I don't know what that is.
That is the dry mango powder.
It's like already 4 ingredients. I don't even know what's going on at this point, but it looks good. Cook for 10 minutes, that's it?
Crush it between your palms and add it to the chana masala.
I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research. I'm going to come back to this video and I'm going to look up all of these spices and things she's throwing in there. I want to see what's going on.
So this is going to add a lot.
I trust her though.
hot puris with this Punjabi Chole Masala is a wonderful combination, and it's a manja.
Good presentation.
So enjoy this delicious Punjabi Chole Masala with puris or chapatis or any roti of your choice.
Is that considered bread? I'm not eating bread right now, but that looks good. That might be when I decide to have bread again. That's gonna be the first. I want whatever this is. I'm gonna have to go back and look at this video, but because there's a lot going on here. But you see the outcome here, and shout out to her. Let's go ahead and give her a little bit of cameo time. I thought she did great. This is her, right?
The usual chana masala that we make. So do try the recipe, enjoy, and share it with your family and friends.
We appreciate you. Good job. We appreciate you. Go ahead and get your chana masala. Go over to the pot and help yourself. You can have as much as you like. Have as much as you would like. All right, so we got a lot going on for this show. Let me go off black and white. We got a lot going on. The Diddy trial is happening. Well, the verdict, I should say. He'll be sentenced anytime now. I heard a couple of updates actually just before going live. Said his family was there. It's very emotional, even from Diddy himself. There's a lot of emotions going on. So we have that live in the background. So I'm going to be keeping up with that. If for any reason the verdict is reached during our show live, we're going to cover that and we're going to jump right into it. Whatever we're doing, we're going to move right over to that Diddy trial. So I got it playing in the background. I am watching it. Matter of fact, let me do one more thing. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I got that in the back. Just so I'm watching it. It's off in the corner for me. So if anything updates, if we see anything happening, we see celebrations, we see tears, anything like that, we're going to get to the Diddy trial. All right. Actually, let's check it out and see what we got going on right now. Let's jump into it real quick. We'll skip the monologue. I had a monologue, but we can skip that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that on Monday. It wasn't nothing that was pressing. I want to see what's going on with the trial. So let's just jump into that real quick before we get into all of our other stories. We got a lot of updates we got to get to. Let's see.
Charge, it would be about transporting people for prostitution.
All right, we got this guy. Hold on, let's see. I got another one where they're all outside the actual courthouse. Let's go live. There's everybody outside the courthouse. There's a big crowd of people out there, all awaiting what is going to happen. Again, this is a closed, because this is federal, or is it state? I think because it's federal that you can't have cameras in there. If it's a state trial, then you can have actual news coverage inside. But when it's federal, it's a little bit different. This is like, a little more serious, I guess. So we're going to keep an update on what's going on with the Diddy trial. While we're live, if anything happens, we are going to talk about it. We're going to get the live reactions of everything that's happening around here. Right now, they are saying that the diddler is looking at 5 to 7. He's looking at 5 to 7 years in prison. The judge said he's probably not going to defer from that 5 days. He's just going to do what's recommended. What they said that he should get is what the judge is saying he's going to rock with. However, he might have been swayed by some of the testimony by Diddy's family and a lot of the other people in the community that want to see Diddy released immediately. So we're going to keep up with this and see what's going on. And yeah. But I got a couple of updates we got to get to. We talked about, let me see. I think, what do we got? Let me see what I got. Let me get these stopped real quick. All right. Let's go into the 22-year-old man. We talked about this yesterday. This was our main story. If you didn't see yesterday's show, like, you're missing out. Like, you need to go watch yesterday's show all the way through. The show was crazy. We went for almost over 2 hours, and it was an insane show. But this is a follow-up. Most recently, they got more details as far as what happened with the 22-year-old and how he was able to infiltrate the school and different things like that. So let's go into that. And then we will get into Ian Roberts. I know if you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. That's going to be the main story. All right? The Ian Roberts is the main story. So we will get to that for sure. Diddy trial, no matter what's going on, we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about how the protesters in the school are looking kind of stupid. They're looking kind of dumb.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
Because the details that have came out about Superintendent Roberts have not been good for Roberts or anybody that has supported him up to this point. So we're going to get into that. But first, let's see what's going on with this 22-year-old that infiltrated a White Bear High School and played on the varsity football team.
Last hour, school leaders laid out just how a 22-year-old man was able to fraudulently enroll at White Bear Lake High School. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Leah McClain.
I'm Paul Folger. That man faced a judge this afternoon on unrelated charges, but we have team coverage. Lindsey Brown digging into what goes into enrolling someone in a Minnesota high school.
Let's start, though, with Eric Chaloux and the latest on the investigation and this new update from the school district. Eric?
Yeah, Lee and Paul, this new information coming in this afternoon from the White Bear Lake School District. They say that Kelvin M. Lupke enrolled under a false identity and attended class here for 19 days and also was on the football team, going to 3 practices. The district says, though, he claimed to be a homeless, unaccompanied youth. The White Bear Lake police chief also saying their investigation continues to see if there are any possible criminal violations. I'm going to read to you the chief saying, looking to see a possible fraud, forgery, and unlawful conduct involving minors. Kelvin M. Lupke, listed in court records as 22 years old, faced a Washington County judge Thursday on a probation violation from a 2023 indecent exposure case. The White Bear Lake School District confirms Lupke is the focus of a White Bear Lake police investigation involving a man who attended the high school as a student. 5 Eyewitness News spoke with a friend at Lupke's address, listed on court records, who asked not to be identified, saying he allows him to live there after meeting him at a church youth group. That man says he spoke with Lupke from jail last night, saying he had no clue how serious it is, the allegations against him attending the high school. The friend says he's a confused young man. He thinks he's younger than his age. I think he believes that. On Tuesday, the White Bear Lake principal notified parents that a person over 21 years old is allegedly to have enrolled in our high school using fraudulent documentation and a false identity.
I got a question real quick. If he believes that he's actually 17 instead of 22, then why did he create fake documents and use fake documents to try to prove that he was 17? If you actually believe that, wouldn't you just not have to create anything fake? You believe it, so why would you have to fake it? You see where I'm getting at with this? Like, if that's what you actually think you are, you wouldn't have to go through any lengths to try to prove it. Because if you are something, there's no proof that's needed. It's obvious. So he should actually went in there and just said, you know, I'm 17. And then handed over his ID that said he's a grown man with a driver's license and a criminal background in indecent exposure and messing with minors and all that. I think this is insane to even begin to try to be on his side in any of this.
That didn't sit well with parents we spoke to on Tuesday.
Well, I'm furious.
It was just really scary. That's very scary.
The district wrote to parents, we have determined that while enrolling this individual, we followed our enrollment process, which is as rigorous as state law allows.
That's a joke. Look what happened. There's a 22-year-old kid sitting next to our 17-year-old, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old daughters. Rigorous, my sorry.
Regarding the allegations of how a 22-year-old could have enrolled with the needed documents,
you're not sorry at all.
A friend told 5 Eyewitness News, quote, I didn't think he was that clever. Well, the district saying that he used fraud.
Well, you didn't think he was that clever, but he thought you were very, very stupid, and he was right.
Fraudulent documents to enroll. They're looking into their enrollment process. That coming from the superintendent late this afternoon. Notices going out to parents about what's going on here. Again, the White Bear Lake Police Department continues to investigate. We're live here outside of White Bear Lake High School. I'm Eric Chaloux, 5 Eyewitness News.
All right. Eric, thank you. As you just mentioned here, The White Bear Lake School District says that its enrollment process is in line with state law.
So Lindsey Brown joins us now live to show us what that looks like exactly, Lindsey.
Well, guys, the latest update from the superintendent again says this man claimed to be a homeless, unaccompanied youth. The superintendent says the law requires immediate enrollment of eligible students, which he claimed to be even if they can't provide standard documents such as academic records, immunizations, or proof of residency because they claim to be homeless. Now, here's how the standard student enrollment works in White Bear Lake. Parents can start by entering information like name, address, and phone number on the new student enrollment page online, or they can fill out a paper enrollment form that looks like this one. This is for grades 9 through 12. Either way, parents ultimately have to prove the student's age, address, and immunization history. State law allows districts to ask for documentation, including a passport, birth certificate, immunization records, and documents from previous schools. The superintendent says there was no reason to believe the documents the man gave them were fraudulent, adding the birth certificate he submitted from another country had watermarking and official stamps or seals. Right now, we're working to learn what history there is in Minnesota with high school enrollment using falsified documents like the ones we're hearing about. Live in the newsroom, Lindsey Brown, 5 Eyewitness.
Well, Lindsey, can you keep us updated with what you find out? I'm sure you're doing very, very good investigative work to try to figure that out. But, I mean, for them to say that you're looking at a document from another country that you've never seen before, but just because it has watermarks and different identifying marks on it that make it look legit, you're going to believe that is legit?
Come on, man.
If you've never seen something to begin with, then you can only believe it to be authentic from the first time you see it. And then thereafter, you would believe that anything that you've seen afterwards that looks different is the fake. Wouldn't that be logic? Because you're introduced, for the most part, all right, think about it like this. Somebody gives you a document from Kenya, right? It's a birth certificate. And you look at it. This is what's going to be burned into your mind. It's going to be like, all right, this is what the real document looks like. Then another person comes over to you and they say, hey, here's my document from Kenya of my birth certificate. Is this good? And they're going to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. I know what the real one looks like, or I've seen one before and it didn't look like this. Then you begin to start to try to comprehend what's going on. But just the way that our brains operate, we're going to think the first one that we seen, that we were introduced to the first time, is the real thing. And because of that, the school was not very investigative like Lindsey Brown here to try to go ahead and figure out what's going on. Maybe a Google search, maybe trying to find somebody that also has a birth certificate from another country that's the same and try to compare documents before just allowing him into school. And the way that they doing the online thing, you could have just thrown my iPad like, look, we're gonna let you enroll because it's our rules to let you come into the school. You're homeless, you're in a bad situation. We want to get you your education. As a 17-year-old, it's important. However, we're gonna have to throw you this iPad and we'll let you be in class remotely. And after we figure out who the hell you are, and we'll let you come on campus. But they didn't do that. So now the school is going to have to begin to do damage control and try to figure out if they can get themselves out of the situation without taking a whole bunch of scrutiny and possibly lawsuits and different things like that. So, that's what we got over there with the school. We're not going to go deep into that right now because, we covered it extensively yesterday, but that was the latest update on that. Let's go back over to Diddy and see what's going on with him. See if we got anything new. See what they're talking about over on Law and Crime. We're going to jump in and out to Diddy.
In a greater sense than other statements?
You would hope that the judge is weighing all statements and placing the appropriate amount of gravitas or weight on those statements based upon credibility, the evidence, and in the context.
Let's let them talk in the background. Let's see
the person he's
what's going on outside.
So I think her words, certainly carry a lot of weight.
They still just out there hanging
the
out.
Government star witness and
parking lot pimping
in front of the judge, so he's able to judge her and her words and and on his own basis, from having watched her testify on the stand and go through, I believe it was 4 days of testimony and being cross-examined too. So I hear her words. It's clear those are very strong words, a lot of passion, a lot of pain in those words. And Sean Combs has acknowledged, what his conduct may have caused for her and paid for it with now a conviction, as well as in a civil case, a lot of money. Obviously, given the judge's comments and remarks earlier, that's not enough to foot the bill. So there appears that there's going to be some more additional prison time that Sean Combs is going to owe to society before he can get on with his life.
Dante, I know we have to sign you off in a little bit, so
Yeah, Sean Combs is going to have to owe some more prison time. He'll get credit for, I think he's been there already. Been like a year, right? Didn't he go in last September? He's been in there for a while already. He'll get credit for that, but it's looking like he's going to get around 5 to 7 years, which, he'll come out a rich man. He'll be, he'll be like, over 60 when he gets out? He'll spend the rest of his 50s in prison? I don't know. I guess based off what he was looking at, that's pretty light. But you never know. You never know. Somebody might slide a briefcase over to the judge last minute, and judge might open the briefcase, and it might have a lot of money in there, and he might say, you know what, given the circumstances, and I was heavily impacted by what the family had to say, we're gonna go ahead and do time served on Puff and let him out immediately. And again, he did go in there in street clothes. They're saying he went in there in his nicest suit, so he's anticipating probably getting out, and nobody knows what the hell is gonna happen. Nobody knows what's gonna happen with this. So we will continue to follow this and see if we get anything new during our live broadcast. But until then, we're going to look at some random stories I got. I want to talk, let's see. Let's check out what's going on over at airports now that the government is shut down. We've been shut down for a while now. And it's looking like TSA said, you know what? We're good. We're not working unless we got them paychecks guaranteed. We're not trusting back pay because we know how they run over here. We're likely to get laid off after all of this anyway, so it's like, y'all gonna have to figure it out. So, this is how the airports are looking right now. We got audio? I think we got audio. Long lines at the airport. And y'all have warning. When about 2 weeks ago, we started getting a lot of rumors about a possible government shutdown, and we knew when the deadline was going to be. A lot of the TV stations had timers on there, like the COVID timers. We're going to talk about the COVID thing in a little bit. We got a story on that, too. Fauci had something to say. But they actually were letting y'all know this is going to happen. So all these people here, you see them? See him right here? This guy in a business suit on his phone right here, acting like he's unbothered. This guy in the blue shirt, hands in his pocket. This guy right here. Why is everybody's in their phone? What happened? Like, ain't nobody even talking to each other. You got a crowd of people around you and you ain't found nobody to have a conversation with. You right next to, look at this. Not one word being spoken between anybody in the crowd. I don't even think the people that came there together are talking. The people that came to the airport as a couple ain't even talking to each other. You right next to your wife. You got the phone out like this. You see your wife look over at you. You turn the phone. I don't want to see her talking to my mistress. I got something set up when we get to Colombia. I already got a whole setup going on. I don't want her to see me on WhatsApp. She don't know about this one. You over there setting it up. Mamacita. $10 US. Anything I want. You over there. Your wife got something going on too. She on the other side like this. Your wife over here like Dominicana. Oh, show me your BBC. She talk. All of a sudden, she got a Colombian accent. Is that Colombia? I don't even know what their accent is. Your wife over there, she. Y'all ain't even talking to each other in line, bro. Ain't a word being said. We need to bring the 90s back. I know the Generation Alpha, like, hell no. I can't give my cell phone up. I need my cell phone. I need my TikTok, bro. I'll communicate. You be right next to each other, texting each other, and right next to each other, texting each other. Because you can't even communicate face-to-face. We can't even communicate face-to-face anymore. We'll be in the same house texting each other. You be downstairs, wife upstairs. She texting you. Dinner's ready. You come up, you get dinner, and y'all don't even say a word to each other. Y'all got, and I heard, and we ain't gonna cover it today. We'll probably get into it on Monday. I heard that Michelle and Barack Obama, they got a whole thing going on where it's like, she says she can't stand hearing them chew, but she said that when he gets home, when Michelle and Barack get home, that they don't even talk to each other about anything that happened in their day preceding that because they won't have nothing to talk about during dinner. Like, that's what we've gotten to as a people. So you see the people in line. They're waiting right now to see if they can board a flight. It's about 2 TSA agents that are just hardcore. Like, they love to be TSA agents. Like, that's what they live for. Every time you meet them in the bar, the first thing they do, they don't even, matter of fact, they, even on their days off, they got their uniform on. You go into the bar, they just waiting for you to ask them, are you a TSA? Yes, I'm a TSA agent. And they want to tell you about all the stories, how they had to find somebody that, you know what, this one woman thought she could come through with over a 3.5 ounce bottle of cologne. You know what I had to tell her? Do you know what I had to tell her? And then she gave me attitude. Do you believe this? That's TSA agents in the bar crashing out over people bringing in too much liquid on the plane. You can't bring liquid on. We came back, the TSA agent, we was in Dubai. We came back from Dubai. We tried to grab some fruit out there. Me and Tara was out there. We tried to grab some fruit. we had like a couple apples and some bananas. They said, hell nah. They grabbed the apples and bananas. They didn't even eat them. I said, you can have it. Like, go ahead and enjoy it. It's fresh. They said, nah, we throwing it in the trash. You can't have it. We can't have it. We throwing it away. What happened to all the hunger issues that we're dealing with in the world? I don't know, man. It's crazy. We can go on. We gonna move on, though. So if you're thinking about catching a plane, if you got a flight coming up, just know to expect long delays at the airport as we deal with the uncertainty of what's going on with the government shutdown. And the crazy thing about it is all the people in government take private planes and charter. They got the money to afford it. You can't. You're on Spirit Airlines standing up your whole flight. You seen the Spirit Airlines, right? They got you. Hold on, let me show it. Let me show it real quick. I got it right. Standing up flight. Let me see if I can find it for you. I got to show this to you real quick. They got the flights where you can stand up. Did y'all see this yet? They got the flights where you can stand up. All the brokies that ain't in government right now, y'all can't afford it. They got it? Let me see. Let me find one. Is this it? Hey, let's see this one. Hold on. We got it right here. Get the standing up flights, bro. Hold on. This is what y'all got to do. We got the audio.
60s called it the jet age, and for good reason. Flying was a luxury experience. The journey was as exciting as the destination.
You got to wait in long lines, and you got to stand up in line.
Passengers sipped champagne from glasses.
Is this it? What's she talking about?
Linen drape. And since then, the design has
That's
evolved.
it right there. Look. That's the standard, so they can fit more people in there. So they can add like an extra 20 people on the flight, and they can get all the money. All the money. You got to stand up in line waiting for one TSA agent to check you in, touch you all over, feel all over you, make sure you ain't got no contraband, X-ray you, give you radiation chemicals all through your body. Then you can get on there and you can stand up on the flight for like 15% off your flight. You get up, you're all stiff walking on. You can't even bend your knees when you get off the plane. Or if you want to, you can pay like $6,500 and go ahead and go in first class. Those are your options. Stand up or pay $7,000 to sit down. And that's where we're at now. So shout out to everybody that is having to deal with the issues going on with the government shutdown and trying to get on an airplane now. And you're not flying private like all the politicians. Wow. All right. Let's see. What else do we got? We're just going to be going through. Y'all want to check? Let's see if we got anything new on Diddy. We're just going to keep bouncing back and forth to the Diddy stuff real quick. Let's see if we got anything new. Everybody's still just standing out there. This guy in the NYC hat, he's out there not matching. I don't know what, like, he seems like he could be doing something better with his life than standing out there, but he's got time. And yeah, this guy in the flannel ain't moved yet. Let me go back. Did somebody get arrested? What is going on?
That's bullshit. On the sidewalk. Wait, it don't make no sense, dude. Arrest me too. Arrest me too. On the sidewalk. I'm for you. You can tell they actually stay on the sidewalk. That's all, man. Who got police, man? You know Kenny? You know who Kenny is, right?
What the hell is going on, man? Let's go back to live. This was about 2 hours ago. People out there trying to cover the news. Let's see if we got anything from these guys.
Let's see. Because the judge denied him bail, because the judge denied his motion to throw out the conviction.
See a very sad Diddy right there in the sketch. Yeah, so Diddy trial they're still talking about, they're still waiting on the verdict to come down. We're going to continue to watch this and see what's going on, see if he gets his verdict while we're still on live. If we do, we are going to cover that. I want to go over here and let's update what's going on with Netflix. Elon Musk decided to attack Netflix vigorously, and he's continuing to post tweet after tweet. Elon Musk has Twitter fingers. He's continuing to tweet. I think Elon Musk runs his own account, crazy enough. At his net worth, usually he has somebody else running their account when you're at that level. You got like, a secretary or, assistant running your account. But Elon Musk runs his own account. And he's over there doing everything he can to possibly bankrupt Netflix. And at this point, just based off of valuation, I want you to understand valuation isn't the same as revenue. Although they're getting cancellations, so they're losing revenue, but valuation is based off the stock price. So their stock price has lost $15.1 billion in less than a week. That is crazy. They're feeling the heat over at Netflix, so we're going to continue to keep up with this. But Netflix has lost $15.1 billion in about 4 days. Wow. And we covered this already, so I think that was that Wednesday show? I think Wednesday show we covered that. So you can go back and a lot of these are we're just kind of updating what's going on. I did want to get into this. This is new. Dr. Fauci. Some people are calling for Fauci to be arrested. Some people support Fauci a lot. Some people are in love with Fauci. Some people will follow any directive that Fauci gives. I don't follow anybody. Absolutely not. When the COVID pandemic was happening and the 19 and the coronas and all of that, I was not participating in none of the nonsense. There was a couple times where I did have to put a mask on just per rules of being arrested and different things like that. But in my household, the people that I was around, I was not letting them get involved in the shenanigans that was COVID-19 and the 6 feet apart and all that other stuff. In public, whatever. If it's an arrestable offense, you got to follow the law. It is what it is. But as far as me teaching my kids all the propaganda and getting them involved in all of that and taking them to get 50-11 shots in their arm, my kids got not one vaccine of COVID from Pfizer, from Moderna, or any of these companies did not inject my kids. They also did not inject me at all. I don't even take the flu shot, like, at all. Now, I do know people around me that took the shot. There was plenty of people. I warned them not to. But again, that was just me giving my opinion. I don't control anybody. Your body, your choice. We've understood that for a long time. And I'm totally okay with it. No means no, and yes means yes. So if you want to get the shot, you got the shot. If you didn't, you didn't. If parents wanted to go ahead and put their kid that had a 99.9% chance not to be sick off of COVID at their age, and they still want to go ahead and push their kids through the line and get them injected with something they didn't know much about that was untested, hey, that was your choice. I chose not to with my children, and that was that. However, 5 years afterwards, we're seeing the honest Dr. Fauci come out with some new truths. Let's hear the clip. What do we got? We got Fauci here. Let's go full screen on this. Can we go full screen?
Of people. It's a safe vaccine. Again, we have.
Actually, we'll go here. We'll just blow it up a little bit. I want to get Fauci all in his glory right here. What are we doing? Hold on. I got the clip. Don't worry. This is Fauci. Let's actually read the headline so we can get a better idea what's going on. Now Fauci admits that COVID vaccines cause myocarditis. I can't even pronounce the word. I just know if you get whatever that is from the shot, it's not a good thing, particularly in young men. I got all boys. I told my young boys, young men, young boys, however you want to look at it, I said, we're going to wait on that one, bro. I think I take care of y'all. I think I keep y'all healthy enough to be able to fight off a virus, all right? I think that your immune system is built up to the point where we'll take our chances. And if you get clipped, hey, look, I'm just going to have to take the L. But for me, I took the same risk for myself. I would never send my soldiers out to do something I wouldn't do as the general. And me personally, I said, I'm not doing it, so I'm not going to have my kids do it. It's that simple. So that's what Fauci had to say.
Again, we have experience with this type of vaccine in billions of people. It's a safe vaccine. Of course, with the mRNA, there's a very, very, very low risk, particularly in young men, of getting a myocarditis. But if you look at the risk of myocarditis from COVID itself is greater than the risk of the vaccine.
Huh?
Judge, my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Doctor, you have to talk to me like I don't know what you're talking about to begin with. We're going to need a deeper breakdown on this. But what he's saying is that, early on, they said nothing about, I didn't even hear this word until just now. Matter of fact, let me see if I can look it up. Y'all want to look it up right now? Let's look it up. Let's go ahead and copy that word. Let's open it in a new tab. Let's see if we can understand a little bit better. Whoa! We immediately pull the heart up. Okay, that's not good. That is not good. You don't want that. You don't want to have issues with your heart. All right, let's see what this means. Now, I'm not a doctor, so this is my first time ever seeing this. I have no idea what any of this is, all right? But we're going to read through it and learn as a family. Myocarditis. Hold on real quick. You see, I got to go back and get the word. Let me get the pronunciation right.
In young men of getting a myocarditis.
Myocarditis. All right, myocarditis is the word. Myocarditis is an inflammation of the heart muscle. Okay? It can be caused by varying factors, including, are they going to say because of COVID? Because of the shot? Viral infections, most commonly viruses such as influenza, COVID-19, and herpes. Be careful out there. Wrap up. All the herpes, I don't know. That's herpes, you can get that from anything, really. You could, shake someone's hand and get that. Less likely, but possible. Let's see. Conditions where the body's immune system attacks its own tissues. Certain medications, such as chemotherapy drugs, immunotherapy. Is that basically what the virus would be? Like immunotherapy? I need a doctor in here. Can cause myocarditis. Myocarditis. Okay, and this will probably be updated shortly after Fauci's statements and begin to talk about you can get myocarditis. I'm done trying to say that word. You can also, they're going to have another bullet point on here that's going to say you can also get it from Moderna or Pfizer, I'm assuming. Now, I can talk about this now because back in 2020, we said something like this, we get silenced, we get X'd out, we get terminated off the platform and completely silenced. Now they've lifted restrictions. People like Meta have came out and said that certain administrations were banning them from allowing to have people with objective opinions. And us, we're always balanced. We're not on either side. We think for ourselves. We don't group think. We make our own decisions based off of how we deem things. We use common sense to begin with, and then after that, we begin to look to the experts to get more knowledge on the situation. But Fauci's words is right here, say it.
Again, we have experience with this type of vaccine in billions of people. It's a safe vaccine. Of course, with the mRNA, there's a very, very, very low risk, particularly in young men, of getting a myocarditis. But if you look at the risk of myocarditis from COVID itself is greater than the risk of the vaccine.
What do y'all think about this? New information coming out from Fauci. Breaking news. He is saying that there are side effects that could possibly be life-threatening. Maybe have you collapse on a basketball court from doing over-strenuous activity after you just got the vaccine, which we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot. You know, shout out to LeBron James. Shout out to LeBron James. I personally like LeBron James, all right? Do I agree with everything he does? No. But I like LeBron. And, you know, he got the jab and he publicized it and went out there and said that, you know, possibly everybody else should get it, but him and his family is going to get it. And young Bronny James Jr. had something that was very, very scary to all. And I'm absolutely glad that he recovered and he's okay now. And I could have made the same decision with my kids had I been in certain situations possibly. Some things push us and lead us into different situations. I, at that time, was not necessarily controlled by anybody or anything to make me need to do that. But different circumstances equal different types of outcomes. So, you know, you've seen Bronny have to deal with that. He came to Minnesota to the Mayo Clinic and they took care of Bronny and got him back on his feet. Now he's in the NBA playing. So shout out to him. But that's just one example of many and of a lot of different things that we've seen with this. So, you know, we might see a class action lawsuit coming at some point and, you know, everybody will get like $5 or somewhere along those lines that were misled into getting or forced into getting different types of things. And they'll say, well, we didn't force you to do it. Well, you did in a way. I guess technically you didn't put a gun to anybody's head and do it, but you said they can't fly. You said we can't get on an airplane. We got to drive 4,000 miles to get here instead of taking a flight that would take us a fraction of the time. We can't work. We can't go to restaurants. We can't enter the grocery store. We can't see our family. We can't go to funerals. We can't go to weddings. We can't visit our family in the hospital. It was insane. That's almost the same thing as forcing somebody to do something. And then you label it as completely safe. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're fine. And they're still pushing it to this day. So, you know, it is what it is. Me personally, I'm not afraid to talk about anything at all. And, you know, that's what we got. That's what we got. And again, I'm not on any side. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't. You know, we all make our own decisions. And I would always advise that you think for yourself when these situations come about. All right, you want to jump back in to see what's going on with Diddy? Let's see. Let's check out and see if we got anything new on Diddy.
Saying that's not your argument. The conviction's wrong.
Got litigators talking. See if that guy. We're gonna update. Let's see if this guy in the flannel right here and the guy in the NYC had a still in picture.
Now, some of the argument is about what
I
can
want
you
to update
consider
it. Here, let me do it like this.
in light of the
Make sure we're at the
counts
latest.
that he was
All right, they
acquitted
disappeared.
on? And I think that's perfectly appropriate for the defense
hold
to
on.
bring into this discussion
I got it right
to
here.
make sure the judge is staying focused within the guardrails.
So these guys are still talking, and then we can see right here, you still got people out in front of the courthouse loitering, awaiting the verdict. Everybody's interested in this, including us. Fair enough to say, I am interested to see what happens. This is a big story, and pretty much everybody's going to get word of this over the next 24 hours. So we're going to keep an eye on this and continue to watch what's going on with the Diddy verdict. Let's see, what else do we got? We could do this one. Yeah, let's do it. We'll jump into this real quick. We're just hanging out today. We're going to get to the main story. Let's look at this person that was on the phone texting and driving. How much time do I got? Yeah, we got time. Let's look at this person on the phone texting and driving. Let's see what we got. Has this ever been you? What's that badge on her? ARNP? Let me see. ARNP. Let me see. ARNP. Oh. ARNP is a title for Advanced Registered Nurse Practitioner. These are your nurses right here. Very calm under pressure, this nurse. Got a, I don't know, you can call it like a fender. It looked like she hit somebody's mailbox. Just damaged the car. Actually, this was a Turo car, by the way. She rented this car out. Hopefully she got the highest protection package. And that's why it's on dashcam, because it was a Turo car. So the people at Turo were smart. So this is very, very good for you to understand. If you have a Turo vehicle that you're renting out, you might want to install dash cams front and back to keep an eye on the people that are driving your car, because more than likely, and I'm just guessing, I'm taking a wild guess that this woman right here, this nurse practitioner, possibly on her way to or from work as she's wearing her badge, probably would say that something different happened, that she wasn't on her phone, that maybe like she seen a bunch of kittens or geese walking across the street and didn't notice them till the last minute. So to save the kitten from being ran over, she had to maneuver out of the way and hit a mailbox, and that's where the collision came, because she is such a good person. She wasn't texting her fling on the way to work, trying to set up a time during break where she can get a quickie in. Nothing like that.
Stop.
She wasn't doing that. Absolutely not. She was focused on the road, and there just happened to be a whole bunch of geese crossing the street. And because she's such a great person, and she would never hurt a single animal, she had to avoid them, and she had to sacrifice herself in the car. And that, by all accounts, is a heroic and great thing to do by this lovely lady. So that's what actually happened, even though we got it on camera right here that she was texting the whole way. This is not what actually happened. She was not looking up every like 10 to 15 seconds. Big ass truck right there. It was a good thing she didn't veer over to the left, or else multiple bodies piled up. Calm under pressure. You know, if there's ever an issue, you know, where there's a trauma patient that comes into the hospital and she's the one working on you, she's going to be calm. You can trust her to administer the IV correctly without having to stab you about 8-9 times. I couldn't find a vein. It's your fault. You don't have any good veins. It's your fault.
Oh my God, I fucking hate myself right now.
It's not my fault. You need to wrap that thing around your arm tighter. I can't find your vein. We're gonna have to put it in your wrist. You got multiple stab wounds on you. She's starting to panic. She's getting frustrated. Then she calls the doctor in to do it. While she's sitting there, doctor comes in, looks over you, calms you down, says it's all right. Slaps you right here. You got a great vein right there. Don't worry, this isn't gonna hurt to say. Let me actually spray you with a little bit of Novocaine real quick. You'll feel nothing. Doctor, first try. That feel good? Yes, doctor. Here's a sucker for your trouble. We'll have some apple juice delivered to you shortly. She over there fuming, angry. Yep. This is what you can expect. All right. Can I have some fun today? It's Feel Good Friday. Let's have a little bit of fun. I'm pretty sure she had the bet. I'm pretty sure insurance covered all this for her. Everybody was covered. Let's see. Let's go back over to the Diddy. We're going to keep bouncing in. Between these stories, we're going to keep bouncing over to the Diddy trial. See what we got going on. What's the latest? What is the latest? I feel like this whole crowd, like half is for Diddy and half is not. But they're all getting along, like, fairly well. There's nobody, like, arguing. The only people that got into it was the people that got into it with the cops earlier. We seen them. These people up here, earlier in the day, they got arrested. The people are coming together for this. No matter what side you're on, you're coming together. The people are coming out. It's law enforcement versus everybody. The people are coming together. I'm pretty sure they're anteing up bail for that guy that got arrested. Let's see if we got anything from Law and Crime News. See what they got going on. They probably still just
looking at the counts that
got
we have
experts on. They got a better view. 11:51, they're back. Combs, grateful your honor. The day I'm going to talk about. Later issues, Combs. There are no victims. I wonder where Cassie's at. You think Cassie's watching? She might be in there. I wonder what Cassie's doing. All right, we'll keep up with that. I think, let me look at these. What do I got? I don't want to do that. All right, let's check out this one. We're going to get into the main story. Let's check out this last one, though. Let's check out this last one. Actually, you want to get straight into the main? I don't know. All right, we'll check this one out. I already got it up. It's a quick one. I'll go.
Look,
this is what's happening in Las Vegas. I believe to set this up, the store, somebody at the store, like an employee's filming them walk out with multiple boxes of, looks to be Nike shoes, possibly of the Jordan brand. And yeah, they just decided to steal the items and not pay for them in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Look, weird ass, broke ass people is crazy. Broke ass bitch. That's why your wig fucked up. Brokies, look at that.
I got to push back on what she's saying. I got to push back. I think they actually have more money because they didn't buy that. Because it's all a waste of money. What they actually walked out with, retail, is probably like $400 or $500 a piece. However, raw materials, labor costs, everything included, they walked out with like $15 worth of items. The cardboard box cost about just as much as the shoes do for the most part. Cheap Chinese labor, cheap material. The only thing they really paying for is to get it here because of all the tariffs. To actually produce the shoes that she's walking out with, probably like $5 a shoe. And I'm probably highly overestimating how much it costs. So, I think actually it could be the opposite. They probably have a lot more money because they're not wasting their money buying the shoes. They're just stealing them.
Look, weird-ass, broke-ass people is crazy. Broke-ass bitch. That's why your wig fucked up. Brokies, look at that.
And she stole a wig too. So, honestly, these people probably have more money than most. So, the person recording, is that's how an average person thinks. An average person would believe that these people are broke, but they probably have much more money than you working an honest job, because you will work making $20 an hour, and then you'll buy a $160 pair of shoes, which would cost you, well, let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80. I got to do it by finger. 120. Where we at? No, that should be 6. 140. So it costs you 8 hours of your life to buy those shoes, assuming you make about $20 an hour, which is probably about average for working at a place like this. But they got it all in less than 1 minute. So they're actually making like 1,000 times